Angry guy here, and men have stopped caring about women. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. So men have stopped caring about women, and they don't even realize it. They don't understand that men are no longer going to come to their rescue. They seem to believe that as things are getting worse in Western society, men are going to bail them out. If you look at the events that unfolded over in Uvalde, many of you may have heard about what happened over there. Some unfortunate events happened, and a number of young people did not make it out, unfortunately, as a result of actions taken by the police department over there. And these individuals, they chose not to enter into a event that was unfolding to protect themselves rather than protect these little people. And the parents are furious about this, and they're saying that these men, where's their masculinity, but they don't want to use the word masculinity. Here's the truth about this. When you tear down men, you tear down masculinity, and you no longer have masculine men, now they want to throw these guys in jail for not being masculine. Oh, you were being paid to be masculine. You were being paid to put your lives on the line, you know? And American women don't understand you cannot have it both ways. It's not just the women, it's the simps as well. This is the reason why I say that these individuals are functionally insane at best, because they believe that they can have their cake and eat it too. And I don't know. I don't know how else to describe the situation. And they don't realize that men have stopped caring about them. Men are no longer going to intervene and rush to their aid. Men are not going to rescue them when the next catastrophe happens. There's not going to be this grave push by men, to help women when homelessness sets in. Because right now, everyone's just hanging by a shoestring. People can barely buy food. People are, you have women crying on social media saying they don't know how they're going to do it and how they're going to survive. Both of these women are just living off the simp economy, going paycheck to paycheck, but they don't see men as human beings, and yet they think that these same people that they don't see as human beings are going to eventually turn around and bail them out of their current predicament. That's absolutely ridiculous. But that just kind of illustrates, just how bad it is for men in Western society right now. They don't view us as human beings. They don't think that we are people, and yet they expect us to rescue them from every hardship that comes their way. They think that they have the ultimate influence here. They think that they're going to be the ultimate winners in this. They think that someone is going to save them, and it just doesn't work that way. Modern women don't realize that this is it. There's no one coming to save them anymore. There are no men coming to save them. You're literally living off the simp economy. You have girls out here basically selling everything, giving it up for $5 on these platforms, and they don't understand that that's basically it. And as we are in hard times. These are Bidenomics, and yet no one realizes that, hey, this is it. There is no rescue. There's no chopper coming to save you. The men, the guys that you've demonized and you've put down and you've shamed, and you said that you don't want these guys speaking to you, they're not speaking to you anymore. And neither are they. They're not speaking to you, and the guys that you want to speak to you aren't speaking to you. I look at what has happened in the Black community, and Black women, they are they're so ego driven. They will never admit that they are wrong. They will never admit that they need these men. They will never admit that they need Black men. What you do see is you see some Black women making videos saying that it's Black men who have done harm, who have hurt them, and they're forgiving. They have forgiving hearts, but Black men need to confront what they've done, and they need to stop, trying to flee the country and running away from their problems. And if you and you don't need to go overseas to get a baddie. You should be able to get any baddie you want in America. They don't want to accept that these men don't want relationships with them. They don't understand that no matter if all the laws changed right now, they would not want a relationship with them. Men basically have come to the conclusion that here's the thing: women are women wherever you go, but we're still going to end up getting a better deal with a woman overseas. That's the honest to goodness truth. It's like they think that men are so stupid that men actually will believe that women in Western society love them when they're demanding that these men need to bring them all this money. Like, oh, you need to be a millionaire to be in a relationship with me. You know, It's absolute insanity. It's absolute insanity. And let me make this very, very clear. Don't get me wrong. When you go to the Philippines and you meet these women over there, obviously they want a man who can provide for them. But they are willing to accept, they're willing to accept just being able to, a man who can keep a roof over their head. Forget about giving them a house. If you can, and don't get me wrong, you can rent a house pretty cheap in the Philippines, but they are very happy with a man who will, even if it's an apartment, who will rent an apartment, furnish the apartment, and give them a simple life. And they are happy with that. Not having to live in a piggery, being able to just live a normal life. The life that men in Western society are giving to women, can give to a woman in Western society, Filipinas are more than grateful for that life. Now, granted, over in their country, men are giving them lives even better. They're buying houses, building houses, and they're doing a lot more. But just to give them the lives that American women have, having a roof over their head, food, there's always going to be food. They're going to cover those costs. A comfortable home, money in their pocket. They can go and get their hair done, their nails done. These things. These women are happy for these things. These women are grateful for these things. American women are not. American women, they want, when men go out and buy these luxury Lamborghinis and all these other stuff, sure, there's some guys that like to drive these cars, and most men don't. Most men want to drive an old car. There's some guys that are happy to drive the same car that they were driving in high school. And you know why? Or they were driving in college. And the reason why is because that car has so many memories. They're so comfortable in that car. That car has memories. They love that car. They don't need anything else. For example, if it's not a self-driving car like a Tesla, some guys don't even want that. They're like, why would I pick up another car? I love this car. This car is so comfortable. Like, guys, some of those old cars from the 80s, 70s, and 80s, those cars were so comfortable. Oh my gosh, I remember those cars. The seats were so wide. It doesn't feel like you're like this tight little bucket, and they were so soft, and it's just like everything in the car just felt so nice. Like they don't even it's like they just don't make them like that anymore. And you felt like a PIMP driving around in one of these cars. And you get one of these cars today, you fix it up, get a paint job, fresh paint job, put some wheels on it, new wheels on it, and it's wonderful. And a lot of these cars, they're automatics, they drive well. And one of the nice things is that they're not going to do things like attract police presence, because some of these later vehicles, they're so flashy that you drive somewhere and that's what the cops are going to be looking at, versus some older car. They're just going to they're going to look at some like a grandpa car. Like, oh, look at this grandpa. In reality, like, man, this is, it's just it's not, you're not an old man, but you love this car. And some guys are in their 60s, 50s, and 60s, and they're driving these cars not because they're broke. I have guys in my comments that are like, I have over $1 million in the bank, and I'm driving around in a car that came out in the 1970s or 1980s, and I love this car, and this car is luxury for me. And it's like modern women have literally caused us to disconnect from reality, chasing after what? And literally after what? Guys, I'm telling you, for younger guys, you need to understand it does get better. Like that drive, that there's some dudes that are crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's some dudes in their 60s, and there's something wrong with these guys, because they're 60 years old and they're still like going crazy over it. Like something's wrong with their heads. I'm not gonna lie. There's some of these dudes out there, like they're still like they just want to keep going at it all the time. Like they're in their 20s still. But for a lot of guys, once you hit like your late 30s, you're 40 years old, it starts to get better. And you don't have that constant drive anymore where you want to always going, you constantly want it. Like, like you're constantly want intimacy, physical intimacy. It definitely gets better. So that's something that a lot of younger men need to know. It does get better, And the thing is that when you start staying away from things like adult content and focusing on your business and on your grind, those things also help as well. And also when you start to train your mind, like you watch red pill content, And you learn, you're like, okay, and you listen to messages like this, and you see how women carry themselves and how they put themselves out there. Like, do you really want someone like that? Eventually, you start to become disgusted. You're like, this is disgusting. I don't want to mess around with this. Like, look how this person is dressed. Like watch videos of Brittany Reiner, and it's like, listen to how she talks. Like, this is what you want. Are you attracted to this? Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men have stopped caring about women. I want to know what you guys think regarding this in the comments. Let's talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.